So I cut off the end of the first video more abruptly than I meant to. I realized after I'd been reading for a while that there's a 15-minute limit on YouTube clips. So what I'm going to do is begin a little bit back where I chopped it off, and what you're seeing right now is some of what was read already. And then tomorrow I will pick it up again, and Paul 1c will start where Paul 1b ends, and after that I'll be a little more cognizant of the time. This is an interesting project, this whole business of Christian education in the age of COVID. One day somebody will look back on it and say, it's amazing what they did. And you, my dear friends, are part of that. It's amazing what you do. So enjoy what's left of Part A, which has become Part B, and I'm about to move on to Part C. I'll see you there. We hadn't been in Corinth more than 6 months, the winter months from autumn to spring, and this was the spring of that year. We had traveled east by the sea, suddenly, lightly, the two of us alone in the dangerous days before the winter storms shut the sea doors altogether. We had no choice. We grabbed what we could and flew, driven from Rome by the command of the emperor. My husband and I, we. Does that make us seem important? I mean, that Titus Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus should look down from the Palatine and pluck up 2 Jews to send them grandly away from the foremost city on earth? If you could see me now, you would know that I am laughing. No, we were of no importance. We're Jews, isn't that enough to say? Jews in an empire whose emperors grow sick with suspicion, get vomited out, or dipped in pitch and raised as flaming torches for the nighttime parties of the powerful. But forgive me. That's the bitterness speaking, and it is not enough to say. In those days, Claudius wanted to renew the old religions of Rome. The man had witnessed signs and wonders. 4 legions of his army had finally invaded the northern white island, which even Julius Caesar could not conquer. His legions invaded, said the emperor, with his gods, who desired the worship, therefore, of every Roman. So Claudius ordered and presided over a solemn celebration of the 800th anniversary of the founding of Rome. Festivals we had on a splendid scale, games and contests, glory and crowns, the ludi seculares. It should not have affected us. But the next thing the emperor did was to expand the Pomerium. That is the most ancient boundary of old Rome. Actually, it's an imaginary circle around the pure part of the city where none but Roman gods can be honored and acknowledged. But Aquila and I belonged to a synagogue on the Aventine, the only hill that had stood outside the Pomerium. All at once, the hill and the synagogue were inside, and our congregation had to disband or else move. It was a little like kicking over an anthill. What had been hidden now rushed and tumbled into the sunlight, and the private tensions of our community became very public, and the emperor reacted. These private tensions ran deep. Some of us believed that the Messiah had come to earth, that he had died on a cross and had been buried, but then on the 3rd day was raised to life again. It was Here that my father and I parted opinions. He was among the others, the great majority of others who could not believe that the anointed one of God would come to die. My mother was caught between. Her heart was with us. Her life was with her husband. Truth to tell, this difference alone didn't sever my father and me, or else divide the congregation. Over the years, many of our people, devout and honest, had believed in a variety of messiahs without tearing the community apart. No, but lately some Greek-speaking Jews had come to Rome, teaching that salvation through this Messiah was worldwide. For his death had made Gentiles, just as they are, equal to Jews. The Gentiles in the synagogue, God-fearing folk among us, were glad to hear that teaching, but the leaders were insulted. Who are we, they argued. We're the chosen people of God, no matter where we live. We're the holy nation, separate from every other nation. And the mark of that separation is circumcision. No true Messiah of the God of Abraham would cancel that mark of the covenant. The traveling Jews argued back with eloquence, but the leaders of the synagogue stopped debating and started commanding. They called it blasphemy to teach God could forsake his covenant with the Jews. Apostasy, they said. Obey the law or leave. But what had just happened when we'd all been driven out of our synagogue on the Aventine? When we lost the building, we lost the privacy of our dissensions. Worse, we lost restraint among ourselves. Soon, Jews were fighting in public on the Sabbath. Jews beating Jews. How could the authorities not take notice of us? And as if that weren't enough, the traveling Jews were ignorant of conditions in Rome. Their talk excited the suspicions of the emperor himself. They prophesied famine. We begged them to be still. But they rose up in spite of us and uttered dire oracles of a worldwide shortage of grain. Foolish, foolish men, however true their words might be. For Claudius feared two things terribly. He hated magics, divinations, astrologies, prophecies, and prophets. He hated, you see, any hidden means by which his enemies might seek to destroy his government, to assassinate him.